Mac business as well. I talked to Cook a little bit about that. It's down 34%, guys, to $7.61 billion. That's due to some wonky comps after some production problems throughout the year they had in China last year. Here's what he told me about that business, though. Some optimism about the holiday quarter for Mac, telling me, quote, I think the Mac is going to have a significantly better quarter in Q1 in the December quarter. We've got the M3s, those are the new chips he launched. We've got the new products. We don't have the compare phenomenon on a year-over-year basis, so I think it'll be significantly better. So, guys, a little bit more optimism for the holiday quarter, at least for the Mac side. But like the guests were saying just now, wait for the call to get some revenue guidance for that holiday quarter to see if they can return to top-line growth.
Okay.
Send it back over to you. Steve
Kovac. Great reporting. Thanks for bringing it to us.
Thanks.
We're going to go back to the panel. Amit and Alex, shares are down 1.5% right now. Amit, I'll start with you. I mean, a lot to digest there in terms of that Cook commentary, but starting with the iPhone 15 launch and the fact that they do seem to be, according to Cook, experiencing strong demand that they can't keep pace with on the supply side. Your read?
Yeah, listen, end of September, you would almost expect there's enough Apple fanboys to drive demand higher. So not a shock that they're making that statement. I'll tell you, the one thing that actually stands out is on a flattish revenue trajectory, China demand was slightly weaker, right? It was down, I think, 2.5%, 3% year over year. That might be something worth digging into with them over time is demand trend. While they're good in iPhones broadly, are they holding up in China, or what you folks were talking about is the Huawei issue starting to pop up a bit more over there. So that's the one thing I would say that stands out is China looks slightly weaker on a year-over-year basis versus the headline numbers are.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing. North America, or America's geographically actually got stronger year over year. China weaker. Europe was just about in line. Also, Alex, when I look at how the different segments lined up, Kovac mentioned the Mac business. That missed. iPad beat. Wearables were about in line. Services was strong. Is that a proxy for loyalty? I tend to think of it that way. And, iPhone itself was just about in line as well.
Yeah, services is definitely a proxy for loyalty. It's a proxy for how...
In the latest financial update from Apple, the tech giant surpassed analyst expectations in sales and earnings per share for the fourth quarter, though it marked their fourth consecutive dip in overall sales. While most of Apple's hardware sectors saw a decline, the iPhone stood out as the exception, with its sales performing robustly. Apple's CEO, Tim Cook, highlighted the iPhone 15's impressive performance, outpacing the iPhone 14's sales during the same period last year. Conversely, both the Mac and iPad segments experienced downturns, with Mac sales falling by nearly 34%. Despite these challenges, Cook remains optimistic about the Mac's future, especially with the introduction of the new MacBook Pros and M3 chips. Meanwhile, Apple's services division shone brightly, recording a 16% annual growth, outstripping expectations and emphasizing the strength of offerings like iCloud, Apple Music, and their lucrative deal with Google.